No.401 Tactical Fighter Squadron, a.k.a. City of Westmount Squadron, is a Royal Canadian Air Force squadron based at CFB Cold Lake. During World War II it was a fighter squadron and is notable for having fought in the Battle of Britain. Post-war, the squadron operated in Canada as an auxiliary squadron, reserve squadron and a helicopter and training squadron. In 2015 it was reactivated as a tactical fighter squadron. History. Formation. No. 1 Squadron Royal Canadian Air Force was formed as a fighter unit at Trenton, Ontario on the 21st of September 1937 with Siskin aircraft. The squadron was formed from the fighter flight of No.3 Squadron. In August 1938, the squadron moved to Calgary, Alberta and was re-equipped with Hawker Hurricane aircraft in February 1939. While stationed in Calgary, the squadron was commanded by S.L. Elmer Garfield Fullerton. It was mobilized at St. Hubert, Quebec on 10 September 1939, and on 5 November 1939 it moved to Dartmouth, Nova Scotia. The unit began as a permanent peacetime unit which augmented by personnel from RCAF. No. 115 Squadron arrived at its first base in the UK, Middle Wallop, on 21 June 1940. It had brought its own Hurricanes from Canada, and as these were not fully up to UK standard, the squadron was non-operational until mid-August when it moved to RAF North Earl. At the time the squadron comprised 27 officers and 314 airmen. To gain experience of fighter command operations, S.L.E.A. McNabb, commanding officer, flew on operations attached to No. 111 Squadron and claimed a He-111 bomber destroyed on the 11th of August 1940. The squadron was posted to Middle Wallop in June 1940, before in July moving to Croydon. The squadron's DE Acute BUT was inauspicious when 2 Bristol Blenheims of RAF Coastal Command were accidentally shot down on the 24th of August, and 3 crewmen killed. On its second patrol on the 26th of August 1940 it met with 25 to 30 Dorniers and was credited with 3 destroyed and 3 damaged in the fight. However, 3 of the squadron's aircraft were shot down and 1 pilot was killed. The squadron experienced a fairly high aircraft loss rate during the end of August and into September as the squadron battled against the German formations over South London. On the 21st of September the squadron participated in the first attempt at a wing formation operation by the North Old Base squadrons, with No. 229 Squadron RAF and No. 303, although no enemy aircraft were encountered. By the 27th of September, although downing 7 bombers, only 6 aircraft were operational by the end of the day. On the 11th of October the depleted squadron was moved to RAF Prestwick in Scotland and its operational activity was coastal patrol work over the Clyde approaches. During the 53 days it participated in the battle, the squadron shot down 29 enemy aircraft, probably destroyed 8, and damaged 35. It flew 1,694 sorties, lost 3 pilots killed, 10 wounded and 16 aircraft, with 2 pilots killed in accidents. The most successful pilots were F.L. Gordon McGregor, S.L.E.A. McNabb, F.O.B.D. Dal Russell, F.O.J.W. Kerwin and F.O.A.D. Nesbitt. 3 distinguished flying crosses were awarded. The squadron was withdrawn to Scotland during October 1940. On the 2nd of November McGregor took over as CO from McNabb. The squadron moved south again in February 1941 when it arrived at RAF Digby. It was here on the 1st of March that No. 1 Squadron RCAF was renumbered to No. 401 Squadron. The squadron had replaced its Hurricanes with Spitfires MKIs in September 1941, MK versus in late 1941, and in July 1942 some of the first examples of the new MKIX, operating from Digby with No. 12 Group Fight Command until October 1941. It saw little action, but it then moved south to RAF Biggin Hill and remained in 11 Group, carrying out offensive operations over occupied Europe until January 1943. On the 21st of October, 401's first loss of this phase of operations was FSBF Woodson, taken prisoner after being shot down over St. Omer. On the 27th of October, the squadron was operating as high cover to the Biggin Hill wing, and were bounced by Iron 3 Grappy JG-26, led by Oberst Adolf Galland. 5 Spitfires were lost, with FOCA B. Wallace, POJ.A. Small and Sergeant S.L. Thompson killed, and POC W. Floody and Sergeant B.G. Hodgkinson both prisoner. On the 8th of November 1941, on the last mass fighter sweep of the year, the squadron was attacked by I and 3 JG-26 and FOJC. Ware and Sergeant R.W. Gardner were lost over Lituke, shot down by F.W. Babens and Loot U. Abaka of JG-26. A 2-squadron sweep with No. 72 Squadron over France on the 22nd of November saw claims for 2 Bf-109s and 3 Fw-190s destroyed for FOHA spray. On the 12th of February 1942, following the channel dash of the Scharnhorst and Gneisenau in Operation Donnerkeil, 6 Swordfish of No. 825 FAA Squadron were to meet with an escort from 64 and 411 squadrons and 72, 124 and 401 squadrons over Manston at midday. The escort missed the rendezvous, however, although 401 later claimed 2 Bf-109s destroyed, for the loss of Sergeant Levesque, who was taken prisoner. The FW-190 fighter force continued to take toll of the fighter command squadrons, 401 being no exception. On the 28th of April, POJ.A. Ferguson and POG.B. Whitney were lost, although P.O. Don Blakesley, an RCAF enlisted American, claimed 2 probables. On the 1st of May, the squadron lost 2 more Spitfires to JG-2 over Le Havre, while on the 1st of June 1942, when a section of 401 intercepted and shot down 2 Hawker Typhoon fighters of No. 56 Squadron, 1 pilot was killed. In June, the squadron received some of the first Mark 9 Spitfires, capable of taking on the Focke-Wulf FW-190A on more or less equal terms. On the 19th of August, during Operation Jubilee, 2 probables and 3 damaged were claimed. On the 8th of November, F.L. Don Morrison was shot down and badly wounded versus units of JG-26, losing a leg and being repatriated in 1943. Morrison's tally of 5.33 aircraft destroyed, 4 probables and 4 damaged was 401's highest since the Battle of Britain. Moving to RAF Catterick in early 1943, the squadron was involved in training and coastal patrols for 4 months before returning to 11th Group in late May, where the squadron reverted to Spitfire MKIXs and became part of No. 126 Wing, No. 83 Group, 2nd Tactical Air Force. The unit resumed operational flying from RAF Red Hill in June, and RAF Staplehurst in August and Biggin Hill on October. Operations prior to D-Day were flown from RAF Tangmere. On the 15th of March, 4 JG-26 FW-190s were claimed. On the 7th of June, 8 aircraft were claimed destroyed, and on the 18th of June the squadron moved to the B-4 airstrip at Beny-sur-Mer, France. 6 more fighters were claimed downed on the 28th of June. No.401 shot down 3 fighters of JG-26 on the 7th of July. The squadron's 100th victory was notched up on the 20th of July, while 7 more Bf-109s were shot down on the 27th of July over Con. The squadron increasingly operated in the fighter-bomber role, ground attack and armed reconnaissance operations, culminating in operations supporting operations over Nijmegen and the ground fighting in Arnhem in September. SNIA, Rod Smith, an experienced Malta ace, was posted from 412 Squadron and took command in September. On the 29th of September the squadron surprised some 30 Bf-109s attacking at Typhoon formation, and claimed at least 9 destroyed for 1 loss. On the 5th of October, a 5-strong squadron patrol encountered a Messerschmitt Me-262 jet of KG-51 and shot it down. The pilot, HPT Hans-Christoph Buttmann, was killed. This was the first victory over this type credited to either the RAF or RCAF. During late 1944 the unit operated from B-80 airfield in Volkel and then B-88 near Heesch in the Netherlands. In the course of Operation Bodenplaat, the mass ground attack of 1 January 1945 by the Luftwaffe, the unit claimed 9 of the attackers shot down, making the tally since D-Day 76.5 aircraft destroyed, 3 probables and 37 damaged. The next day SLW.T. Clersey was appointed commanding officer. The squadron caught FW-190s taking off from Twente Airfield on the 14th of January and 5 fighters of IJG-1 shot down for 1 loss, FLLJ Mackay claiming 3. On the 23rd of January 401 claimed 3 Arado R-234 jet bombers of 3 KG-76 over Agma Airfield. Operations were restricted in the early part of 1945 due to bad weather, but from the end of February it was heavily involved in the offensive until the end of the war. The squadron received a few Spitfire XIVs in May 1945, but MKXVIs became standard equipment until the squadron disbanded at Fassberg in Germany on 3 July 1945. The 20th of April saw No.401 claim some 8 Bf-109s spotted taking off from a grass airstrip near Schwerin, and another 5 claimed later in the day over Hagenau Aerodrome. On 3 May 401 attacked aircraft on the ground northwest of Kiel, claiming 12 Ju-52s, 2 He-111s and a Ju-87 destroyed, the squadron's last claims of the war. End of the war and disbandment. The squadron ended the war as 2 TAF's top-scoring unit, claiming 112 aerial victories between the 6th of June 1944 and the 5th of May 1945. The total score for the war was 186.5 confirmed, 29 of which were claimed during 1940 when operating as No. 1 RCAF Squadron. Post-war the squadron was reactivated as an auxiliary fighter unit on 15 April 1946 at RCAF Station Street, Hubert, and in 1968 became an air reserve squadron based in Montreal. In the 1980s 1980s, the squadron was renamed 401 Tactical Helicopter and Training Squadron. No. 401 Squadron was disbanded on the 23rd of June 1996. The commander of 1 Canadian Air Division, Major General Dave Wheeler, along with the commander of 4 Wing Cold Lake, Alberta, Colonel Eric Kenny, participated in a ceremony to reactivate 401 Tactical Fighter Squadron on the 30th of June 2015. The squadron currently flies the CF-18 Hornet, Canada's primary and frontline jet fighter aircraft. Stations. No. 401 Squadron was based at the following RAF stations and locations: